Man, I feel like I'm so boring on days that I work. I literally went to bed at 5 in the morning, woke up at about 2:30, got some food, and took a nap until I have to get ready, which is now. But I did have this thought last night that I wanted to consult you guys about. I really want to do like a whole ass closet overhaul. I'm getting really bored of my clothes. I think as I've gotten older, like this is really weird for me because I spent a lot of time in my younger days. I'm only 23. I spent a lot of time as a teenager, um, like dressing really cute, but not for comfort. As I've gotten older, I've told myself, well, I'm prioritizing comfort over cute. And I think I prioritized that a little too much. And now all my clothes are really comfy, but none of them make me feel confident in how I look, if that makes sense. Like, I love leggings. They're so cozy. And I love wearing leggings. I probably will continue to wear leggings, but like all my tops are just baggy t-shirts and tank tops. I don't have anything that strikes me as something that I'm like, wow, I feel really cute in this. So I think I need to do a closet overhaul sometime soon. Not gonna happen within the next like a couple of weeks or anything because I'm broke and trying to pay off credit cards. But maybe like for the summer or something, I'll do that. I don't know. I know it starts with like going through and getting rid of all your shit basically, and that's scares me because I have attachment issues to a lot of my comfy clothes. Because again, I enjoy being very comfy, and I am not one to try on clothes that I buy a lot of the time because it makes me not feel great when they don't fit. But then I always come home and they don't fit, and that's worse because then I'm like, well, I'm not gonna take it back because I'm lazy. So I definitely want to go and do a bit of a closet overhaul sometime. Like, I'll probably try and save up some money and give myself like a budget, obviously, to go off of. I don't want to go to expensive stores. I have never found things comfy at expensive places. And to me, expensive is anything that's not Ross and Burlington. And I don't shop at TJ Maxx, but they're cheap too. Costco, I like Costco's clothes for the most part. Every time my mom and I go, she ends up buying me something from there. And they're great. They're cozy and all. But more than half the time, they're not really my style. Or if they are, I don't currently own anything to go with it, you know? So I definitely want to consider revamping my style a little bit. Just because I don't really know what my style is other than comfy. But comfy does not make me feel cute. My nose piercing is so crooked. Why didn't you guys tell me? Why does it look so weird? Am I missing the thingy on this? Did that fall off? No, that's there. Okay, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Anyways, so that's kind of the thing that I would like to maybe focus on outside of paying off my credit cards and getting a car. I think I want new clothes just to feel better about myself. Yeah. Because the last time I bought myself a bunch of clothes was when I was working for the state government, and I don't like a lot of those clothes, but they were business casual, and that's what I had to wear. I love working in warehouses now, you guys, because I don't have to dress for the public. I can just wear what I want. It's really nice. But anyways, I'm going to leave that there. Please comment below like maybe online stores that you guys like to shop at. I love looking online. I just never pull the trigger on it. You know what I mean? But I also need to figure out what my style really is and then shop around that. Because I did take the advice of a Pinterest board. And I'm noticing a trend in I like high-waisted plaid pants and crop tops, which is what I wore a lot in high school. And I did have a few outfits in high school that were super comfy, but I outgrew them, obviously, thanks to PCOS. But Yeah, we're gonna maybe do a clothing overhaul soon. Relatively soon. We'll see. Anyways, just to give you guys a current idea of what we're working with here, right? Got all my hoodies, which I will keep because I still love hoodies. I got just some random tank tops, nothing too cool. Most of my t-shirts are band tees. This is my Steve-O shirt. I'm keeping that. Most of it's like band tees or like my parents' or my boyfriend's old clothes. Like, a lot of my shirts are great and I love them and I'm glad that I spent money on them. But I just cannot, another Steve-O shirt, I just cannot like force myself to wear them half the time anymore. But I also do think part of it is I just don't like get dressed anymore, you know? Like, I just wear pajamas all day unless I go out. So maybe that's what the issue is. Maybe it's just like, I don't know. Okay, but the grape popsicle one is so iconic. I love it. Do you guys ever just like realize things potentially? My forehead is huge right now. I'm sorry. My hair has to be pulled up for work. I was on TikTok and came across an advertisement from Wisp saying you can get spironolactone from Wisp now. And I read the comments because I like to read comments on TikTok sometimes. And somebody said it made me dizzy and like have fainting spells. I was like, hold up. Is that a real thing? So I looked it up and yeah, spironolactone can lower your blood pressure enough to cause dizzy spells, fainting spells, things like that. So you're telling me that the reason, maybe, possibly the reason my ass gets really lightheaded and dizzy now is because of my fucking medicine? This is almost as life-changing as when I read that metformin can cause hyperhidrosis. Because ever since I took metformin, I've been sweating my ass off like almost every day. I get really hot and sweaty doing just like the lightest activity. I guess because like I never took medications until I was like in my 20s. But damn, like I feel like I'm not insane. I was like, there's no way that I'm getting this freaking dizzy now when I did the same things younger and I didn't get dizzy, you know what I mean? So to know that it's probably my meds, life-changing. Truly life-changing. Hello. We are on our way back from work again, but I have a lot of thoughts and opinions that I would like to share with you all if you will indulge me. First of all, full disclosure, my job lets us listen to music or whatever while we work. So I've recently been listening to a lot of podcasts that I don't get to listen to as much anymore. I would only listen to them when I went to the gym, right? I don't listen to them too much outside of that. However, I listened to a lot of really good episodes tonight, like a crazy amount of like, wow, that's really insightful actually, kind of episodes. So I'm going to start. The first episode I listened to was another Emma Chamberlain Anything Goes episode, and it was her talking about how the world is kind of like hating famous people right now. And she kind of gave her insights of like, you know, the allure of celebrities was that they were, you know, mysterious but still like cool enough, but you didn't know them personally, right? You knew them from movies and stuff, and that was that. And then when influencers started coming out, the celebrities started to do the influencer thing, and so now we just are bombarded with too much of their lives that we do not care. We are actively hating against it now. And I thought that really was something that I really wanted to speak on for you guys, my audience, in the sense that I wholeheartedly really, because she also went on about how, you know, you start off relatable and then you get bigger and then, you know, you make money and then all of a sudden you're not relatable anymore, everyone hates you. And that kind of just made me want to reiterate to you guys specifically that I'm making channel promises right now. I promise to you guys, regardless of if anything happens with my YouTube. Again, the whole goal is not for things to happen with YouTube, right? Like, my whole goal of this channel at this point in my life is literally to kind of just talk about what I'm thinking, because I'm a very, like, verbal processor. I have to talk about things that I'm going through, that I'm experiencing, to get them out of my head, off my chest, things like that. Like, I have to talk about things, and I will probably have to talk about things multiple times. But the allure of YouTube for me is, you know, I can talk to a camera nonstop, and therefore the people in my personal life do not have to listen to me ranting and venting and what have you. Although I don't think it's so much as ranting that much. I think it is just wanting to talk, you know, because I'm a pretty quiet person, like, in person, unless I'm drunk. And so I never really feel like I get to speak my piece. And so having a platform, or a few platforms, because I do also go on TikTok sometimes, having some platforms to allow me to just speak is really freeing. And like I said in the last vlog, it is very therapeutic for me to just talk at a camera. Don't know why, don't know what it is about it. It's just very therapeutic to me, so I like doing it. Now, that goes into play, though, with you guys. Like, obviously, I will talk to a camera regardless of who sees it and who doesn't. But the fact that I do have people who are willing to sit and listen to me talk is such an honor, first of all, because I just, you know, I have gone, like, my whole life not feeling very heard. I never was somebody to speak about what I'm feeling and thinking, and as I started to do that in my later childhood, I just never felt heard and understood. And I think having you guys there that listen and understand is just so amazing. It's kind of like group therapy almost, and I love it. But in regards to that with the channel, that's my whole reasoning behind doing YouTube, is I like to talk and I will talk about anything. Nothing's off limits. And I think for a lot of people, they do like to listen to somebody who can talk about anything. There's no limits, but I will warn you guys now, I'm not big on science fiction. Like, sci-fi is awful. That is the one thing that I cannot stand to talk about. That and, like, space exploration, not my shit. But I will talk about it, you know. It's cool, it's just not my thing. And so I like to talk about what interests me and what I'm going through, and just, again, like I said, it helps me process things going on in my life. Because I've been really bad at processing things that go on in my life. And so I think vlogging is really helping me do that in a healthy way. I used to do it in unhealthy ways, but we won't get into that in this video, maybe another time. Anyways, so as Emma was going on about it, she was just like, you know, she started off vlogging as a 15-year-old, her high school life, and then a lot of people stopped caring when she started going to red carpets and fashion week and this and that, and she gets it. Like, she understands, like, you know, she's not relatable anymore in that way. And I'm making channel promises to you guys. First of all, that I will always be myself regardless. I will be 100% authentic, transparent, all the things, because it's not in my nature to lie about things that are imperative and affecting other people. The most I lie about, and I'm openly admitting that I lie about this, is if somebody asks me, "Are you okay?" and I go, "Yeah, I'm great." Like, that's pretty much the only lie I ever tell in my life. And I could go on another way long tangent about that specifically, but I won't. So that was something I wanted to touch on, and her podcast kind of inspired me to go about that. Then I started listening to Steve-O's Wild Ride again, because I love Steve-O. I love the Jackass guys in general. And I was listening to his episode with Chris Pontius, like his newer one with Chris. And Chris said something that really made me realize that I've been doing life kind of wrong. And I'm going to insert that clip in here because honestly I think it's super impactful and everybody should hear it because, but I also just like Jackass, so there you go.
Oh, thank you.
Because the next guy, especially in this direction.
Touche.
You know,
That was a good one.
I don't like just, walk around giggling all day or nothing, but like...
But you giggle quite a bit, more than the next guy.
I think, happiness is something that it doesn't come... People want happiness to come to them, and it's something that you have to create. Like, you have to do things that make you happy. It doesn't... That's why you don't just take a... people want to now, they resort to, and I understand depression, like, and that's a whole different problem, but it's not like something that you can just expect, like, all right, with no work, happiness is something that you create. So you do things that make you happy. And if you're lucky enough to find something in your life that you enjoy or awesome friends and things that matter. And I'm really lucky because I have a family and
So basically what he's saying is you cannot just expect happiness to sprout from nothing. Like, you need to seek it out, search it out, and really, like, do things that make you happy or be around things that make you happy because, and like, yeah, he said depression is different, and I do admit I do have depression, but I also feel like when I am having my better days, like, I still tend to just be like, okay, so why aren't I happy? Like, what's going on around me? What's not making me happy? And it's something that I think we all think about, but we never want to admit that happiness is found when we go looking for it rather than, it'll just spring up on us one day. And I really like that clip that I shared with you guys. That is one of my favorite things that I've heard to this day. And then after that, I started I started listening to, before that one, I did listen to Johnny Knoxville's podcast. Can you guys tell I'm in like a jackass phase again? I started listening to Knoxville's podcast, and it was the first episode where he was like, he and his co-host were just kind of like interviewing each other. And Johnny said something to me or not to me personally, but like, when you're listening to a podcast, you feel like they're kind of talking to you too, right? But Johnny had said basically, because his co-host Elma was like, how are you so fearless and brave? And he said, I am not. He said he doesn't see himself as a brave person. And in fact, he does have a lot of fear, and a lot of fear is healthy. But if you kind of like do things enough, you know how to put it on hold, basically. And like, for like all the stunts and stuff that they would do in Jackass, like, yeah, he's fucking terrified, but it got to a point where he did it so many times that he kind of just was able to make it take a backseat while he was actively doing the stunt. And then, healthy fear, right? And I thought that one was really insightful because I am somebody who's a big fucking coward. I am terrified of a lot of things. And it's not the things that terrify me, it's the consequences of doing those things. Like, take Jackass, for example. I would be totally fine doing more than half the shit that they do, but I'm scared of the consequences, like breaking a bone, being paralyzed. Like, it's never the actual thing that I'm scared of, it's what can happen after said thing is done. And that even goes so far as to, like, talking, like public speaking. Like, I'm a decent public speaker, but I'm not great at it. And it's definitely like, what if I say something wrong? What if everyone like gets bored of me and hates me and like things like that? It's like, it's never the act of doing the thing, it's just what will come after the fact of doing the thing. And so I really like what Knoxville was saying about that. And then I started listening to another Emma episode. And this one was, she was just doing an advice session, and a lot of people were asking about, like, how do you find your purpose in life? Like, how do you decide your journey? How do you do this? And things like that. And Emma's my age, so she's only like 23, 24 tops. And I am also 23. And the way she answered it was just so good. It's like, dude, like, everyone has their own journey to follow. Like, your timeline is not the same as someone else's. And yeah, you can say comparison kills joy and shit, but everyone compares. Like, regardless of who you are, like, you will make comparisons to people in your life. And I think I like making comparisons that can benefit me, because it's like, I know I keep going back to the Jackass guys right now because that's what I'm hyper fixated on, but I find enough with their upbringings and the backgrounds that I relate to them and I compare myself to them, but in the way of like, you know, like, they can do this scary thing, I can make a doctor's appointment for myself. You know what I mean? Like, it's all relative, but I do really enjoy comparing in a positive way. Not so much a negative way. I still do the negative way too, but like in a positive way, inspiring way, rather than, you know. Anyways, so that's pretty much a lot of what she covered. She also, you know, went on about it's really unfair to make high schoolers decide what they're going to do with their life. And I agreed with that wholeheartedly, because let me tell you, I thought I had my whole life planned out to a T. And as I got older and my frontal lobe started to mature a little bit more, I was like, no, I actually don't want that with my life. I actually don't want to do that with my life. And I think that was further escalated by COVID, specifically by COVID, because when COVID happened, you know, my whole graduation got canceled. We did a drive-through, but my graduation was canceled. So I graduated the year that COVID happened to hit. And I was devastated. I worked so hard for, like, what is it, 13 years of my life, because I'm just counting school and up. I worked so hard for this many years of my life, all of a sudden to have everything that I like dreamed of ripped away. And ever since then, it's really hard for me. I know it's, I'm sorry, I just got home. It's been so hard for me to just like plan things for the future. Like, where are you going to be in 10 years? I'm like, I don't fucking know. My whole life could flip in 10 years, because it's really just turned into like a fear of mine to plan the future, because you can't predict the future. You know, I spent a good chunk of my life like, I'm going to have a nice graduation, I'm going to go to college, I'm going to do this and this and this. None of it really happened. Like, my graduation was canceled. I didn't end up going to university that year, even though I wanted to, or I thought I wanted to. I'm actually really glad I didn't. I don't, the college thing is a whole other thing for me. I might talk about that more later, but basically I just want to say, like, podcasts have been great. I've been listening to a lot of podcasts, and I think a lot of them have a lot of good takeaways, regardless of whose podcast it is. Like, you might think, Zoe, you're listening to fucking Steve-O, and you're taking life advice from Steve-O and Chris Pontius. It's like, yeah, you know what? They're fucking rad. And I will take life advice from them, because they've lived life a lot, you know, and I think we can definitely look to people who have had different lives than you and to just take more inspiration than anything. But I'm done with this clip. I'm gonna go eat and go to bed. Rewatching that last clip made me realize that I yapped probably a little too much for one vlog. So I'm probably gonna end that vlog here, because I don't think anybody wants to watch all that and then continue to watch more. So I think that's gonna be the end of that vlog, honestly. But thank you guys so much for watching. I did want to run one more idea by you guys. I don't know if I'm gonna commit to it, so don't hold your breath, but I kind of want to do like one of those big, like, 365 questions about yourself thing. I kind of want to do one of those, like, to answer one question at the end of every vlog. I don't know if that's gonna be a thing. It's just an idea that I had, but let me guys know what you think about that too. But other than that, thank you guys for watching. Let me pay the cat tax real quick. Cat tax. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next one.